Welcome back, friends, in Life Science Academy, and very warm welcome to all of you. Now, in this session, we will talking about endocrine system in human, and I have taken this topic from the human physiology, and this topic is very important as per the CSIR Net Life Science for the upcoming examination. So, first of all, we will talk about the what is the endocrine system. Endocrine system also referred to as the hormone system and are found in all mammal, birds, fish and many other type of living organism. They are made up of gland. These glands are ductless, hormone and receptors. So the endocrine system is a regulatory system of ductless gland that secrete chemical messengers, and these chemical messengers are known as the hormone. So if you talk about hormone that circulate within the body via the bloodstream to affect the distant organ, which is located distant part in human body. So ductless glands are endocrine gland. They secrete hormone directly into the bloodstream for distribution throughout the body. They can be contrasted with exocrine gland, which have duct and secrete product into these ducts for transport to body cavities. So friends, I have one question from this session, so you can answer me in the comment section. I have question for you. Name the organ which can acting as both exocrine and endocrine gland. So your answer will be in comment section. Okay, so let's forward. Hence, the endocrine system include not only the endocrine gland but also hormone secreting cells. Here we will have some organelles such as hypothalamus and thymus are not classified as endocrine gland but contain cells that secrete hormones. So endocrine system include not only the endocrine gland but also the hormone secreting cells such as the hypothalamus and thymus. So why are hormones important? What is the importance of the hormones in our system? So hormone control or regulate many biological processes and are often produced in exceptionally low amount. Remember, in low amount within the body. For examples, those hormones which regulate activities such as blood sugar level control, which is controlled via the insulin, differentiation, growth, function of reproductive organs, body growth, energy production. So if we talk about differentiation, what is differentiation? So if we have a cell, so this cell and this is still undifferentiated. If we want to differentiate this cell for a particular work, so first this cell going to be specified, then differentiate. So when the cell is specified, this is the labile phase, means its cell fate can be changed. When the cell differentiate, this is non-labile. Non-mobile means at the stage cell is committed to for the particular hormone secrete or for particular function. So the cell become differentiate, then it can work. Okay, so if we talk about body growth and energy production, so how body growth for growth hormone and for thyroid hormone, how the thyroid hormone functioning in the energy production, we'll talking in this session. So major constituent of the endocrine system. First constituent is the female ovaries, second is the male testes, third one the pituitary, and fourth one the thyroid, and fifth is the adrenal gland, and fifth is the adrenal gland. So endocrine glands are the, if we categorize the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas, and gonads. These are the 6 glands which is considered as the endocrine gland, which is considered as the endocrine gland. So where are endocrine gland located in the human body? This is the part. This is the brain. And from brain we have hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and pineal gland. These 3 glands arising from the brain system, or you can say nervous system, and this is the region behind your thyroid gland. This is the thymus, and this is the thyroid and parathyroid gland. This is the pancreas. This yellow region shows the pancreas. These are the ovaries. These are the ovaries. This is the adrenal gland, which is located above the kidney, which is located above the kidney. This is the testicle in case of male. This is the testicles in case of male, and ovaries in case of females. So let's talk about first hypothalamus. Let's talk about first hypothalamus. Now what is hypothalamus? Now what is hypothalamus? Why I am repeating multiple time words? For better and better understanding and for memorizing. So hypothalamus is the endocrine gland. The hypothalamus links endocrine and nervous system together. The hypothalamus derives the endocrine system. Why we call it as a derive? Because all the endocrine glands derive from this part. This is the hypothalamus, and this is the pituitary gland. And now pituitary gland is classified into 2 categories, and in lower class I have studied multiple times that this is the master gland of our human body. This is the master gland. Why we call it as a master gland? Because it regulate all of the endocrine glands, How? We will talking in this session. So first of all, we will talk about the pituitary gland. This is the hypothalamus, and this is the hypothalamus. This is the posterior, and we have a characteristic posterior pituitary secrete those hormones which are produced by hypothalamus, and anterior pituitary releases its own hormone, and anterior pituitary releases its own hormone, 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 its own hormone. So, posterior pituitary releases oxytocin and ADH, oxytocin and ADH, and anterior pituitary releases So first of all, in this slide we will focus on the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland receives signal from the hypothalamus. This gland has two lobes. This gland has two lobes. This gland has two lobes. First lobe is posterior lobe. Second is the anterior lobe. Second is the anterior lobe. So second is the anterior lobe. This gland has two lobes, anterior and posterior lobes. Posterior lobe secretes hormones that are made by hypothalamus. So posterior pituitary secrete those hormones which are made by hypothalamus, and anterior pituitary and these hormones are the oxytocin and vasopressin. Remember, these two hormones are released or secrete via the posterior lobe of the pituitary gland, which are made by the hypothalamus. So if we talk about anterior pituitary, so anterior lobe produces its own hormones, several of which act on the other adrenal gland. That's why we call it as a master gland. So those hormones are TSH, ACTH, LH, FSH, and prolactin. These are the hormones which are secreted by the anterior lobe. So we have discussed about the TSH, ACTH, LH, FSH, and prolactin. So pituitary gland control these hormones, which is also a part of the endocrine gland. So first of all, we will talk about the thyroid gland. Where the thyroid gland located? The thyroid gland is critical to the healthy development and maturation of vertebrates and regulates metabolism. How the thyroid hormone, how the thyroid gland regulate the metabolism. So thyroid gland is a critical gland. It is important and very, very important with respect to the healthy person. With respect to the healthy person. Thyroid gland is the largest endocrine gland in the body. It is located on the either side of the trachea. It is composed of right and left lateral lobe on the either side of the trachea. It is connected by a fibrous connective tissue. That is connected by the fibrous connective tissue, and this fibrous connective tissue is the isthmus. As the isthmus, it produces hormone like thyroid hormone and calcitonin. Thyroid hormone and calcitonin. Calcitonin is the important as for the calcium production. So, thyroid gland consists of numerous spherical hollow sacs called the thyroid follicles and parafollicular cells. Thyroid glands are lined with a simple cuboidal epithelium. Simple cuboidal epithelium composed of follicular cells. The interior of the follicles contain colloid, a protein-rich fluid. The follicular cells produces two hormone. This is the thyroxine. This is the thyroxine. This is the thyroxine, also called the tetraiodothyronine. Thyroxine. This will be tetraiodothyronine. This will be T2, and T3 form is the active form. T4 is the inactive form. So T3 is called as a triiodothyronine. Is the triiodothyronine. And T4 is called as the tetraiodothyronine. T3, which contains 3 atoms of iodine. T3 and T4 together are known as the thyroid hormone. T3 and T4 together known as the thyroid hormone. So, what are the role and function of thyroid gland? Production and role of thyroid hormone. The follicular cells of thyroid follicles actively accumulate iodide from the blood and secrete it into the colloid. In the colloid, iodide is oxidized into iodine. Remember, iodide is oxidized into iodine and attached to a tyrosine residue of the thyroglobulin protein. The thyroglobulin protein is also synthesized and secreted by the follicular cells. Thyroid hormone play an important role in the regulation of basal metabolic rate. In the basal metabolic rate, it increases the basal metabolic rate in most tissue. Exception include brain, spleen, and testes. Here, thyroid gland not working. By stimulating the use of cellular metabolic rate in oxygen, cellular oxygen. When the basal metabolic rate increases, cellular metabolism of carbohydrate lipids and protein increases. As cells produces and use more ATP, more heat is generated and body temperature rises. The phenomenon is called the calorigenic effect. So, calorigenic effect is shown in the thyroid gland as the effect of thyroid gland. A second major effect of thyroid hormone to stimulate synthesis of sodium potassium ATPase, together with the human growth hormone and insulin. Thyroid hormone accelerate body growth, particularly the growth of the nervous system and skeletal system. So, second part is the calcitonin. Calcitonin is a peptide hormone secreted by the parafollicular cell. Thyroid gland produces calcitonin in response to high calcium level in the blood. It decreases plasma calcium concentration by decreasing mobilization of the calcium from the bones, therefore promotes osteoblastic activity, thereby produced osteoblastic activity. So in this second endocrine gland is the adrenal gland. So where the adrenal gland located? So where adrenal gland is located? Adrenal gland is located above the kidney. So it is also called the suprarenal. Why? Because it is located above the kidney. And adrenal glands have two parts. Adrenal glands have two parts. This is the cortex. Outer region is the cortex and inner region is the medulla. This is the capsule. This is the cortex and this is the medulla, and this is the medulla. This part is the medulla. This part is the medulla. So adrenal gland produces three different hormones. If we talk about zona glomerulosa, it produces the aldosterone. It produces the aldosterone. It produces the aldosterone. It produces something different. So it produces zona glomerulosa. It produces aldosterone hormone. If we talk about zona fasciculata, first of all, what is aldosterone? So mainly act on kidney to maintain the sodium potassium level and other ions, maintain a constant level of electrolyte. This is the function of aldosterone, and also fluid balance of the body. If we talk about zona fasciculata, this hormone secretes the cortisol. This secrete the cortisol hormone. This secretes the cortisol hormone or glucocorticoid. This is a steroid hormone. So it is essential for life, affect multiple organ system, multiple metabolites, essential for a proper stress response. Essential for a proper stress response. If we talk about zona reticularis, zona reticularis secretes androgen hormone. This secretes androgen hormone. This secretes androgen hormone, and it is important for the development of secondary sexual characters. Secondary sexual characters. So, in inner side we have adrenal medulla. So, inner side we have adrenal. Up to the we have talking this part only. This part only, and now we will focusing on the this part. This is the medulla. This is the medulla part. This is the medulla region. So in the medulla region, we have adrenal medulla. We have adrenal. We have adrenal medulla. We have adrenal medulla. So, and it can be considered as a part of sympathetic nervous system. It can be considered as a part of sympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system. It releases the catechocalamine. It releases the catechocalamine. It releases the catechocalamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, and it is called the fight and flight response, and it shows the fight and flight response. It is activated when the sympathetic nervous system activated. It is activated when the sympathetic nervous system activated. So if we talk about pancreas, this is the yellow region. This is the yellow. This is the pancreas. This is the pancreas. So if we talk about pancreas, consists of both endocrine and exocrine part of the human being. So pancreas secretes pancreas have three type of cell: alpha, beta, and delta. Alpha secretes the glucagon. Beta secretes the insulin, which is a major hormone to regulate the blood glucose level, and the delta secretes the somatostatin hormone. So beta cells produces insulin and glucagon, and insulin. It is antagonist to each other. So as we say, if the glucagon is working in this time, insulin is not working in this time, insulin is suppressed. If we talk about insulin, in this time glucagon is not working. So after all major metabolism of the body, glucose and other carbohydrate metabolism, protein, fats are increased. In this time, insulin is working. Insulin, when we eat, rise blood glucose level. And to maintain this glucose level, our insulin hormone is secreted, and in this time concentration of insulin is increased in our blood. It senses the pancreas. It senses the pancreas. So it is known as the anabolic hormone. So it is known as the anabolic hormone, which is prevent breakdown of fat and protein. Which is prevent the breakdown of fat and protein. And glucagon is reverse also. It is stimulate the breakdown of fat and protein. Glucagon just opposite to insulin. Mainly glucose gone from to the body, meaning at low blood glucose concentration. Glucose causes breakdown of glycogen, which is stored in the liver. So glucagon and insulin is working in the metabolism. And as a part of metabolism. So if the pancreas have these problem, acidity, alcohol, stone, gallbladder, candida, as so our pancreas will become set. And if the pancreas is set, in turns our metabolism also set. So keep your pancreas healthy. So let's talk about the gonads. This is the male reproductive system. This is the female reproductive. This is the fallopian tube. This is the male reproductive part, and this is the female. These are the sex hormones. So if you talk about gonads, the male and female reproductive are called the gonads. Gonads produces steroid that affect growth and development and also regulate reproductive cycles and the behavior and our sexual behavior. The major categories of gonadal steroid are the androgen or the androgen. In case of female, estrogen, progesterone. Estrogen is also called the estradiol and progesterone is also called the progestin. It's also called the progestin. It's also called the progestin. So all of which are found in both male and female. So note here we have a line or pattern, all of which are found in both male and female, but at different level. So in case of female also have an androgen but in little amount, and male also have a progesterone but in little amount. So if we talk about if their androgen level increased in female, so there is a disorder. This is the PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and this is in if your thyroid is not working properly, your PCOS chances you have PCOS, chances more as compared to normal. So thank you for this in this session, and next session we will more detail in the human physiology. In the human physiology. So till then,